Hello, this is Saad Aslam. I hope you are all doing well. So today we are going to discuss a lead code question that is merge to sorted list. So let's first discuss the problem statement. So you are given the heads of two sorted linked lists, list 1 and list 2, and you have to merge the two lists in a one sorted list, and the list should be made by splicing together the nodes of the first two lists, and you have to return the head of the merged linked list. Okay, so it's a simple lead code question, both lists are sorted and you have to merge the both of the lists in a single sorted list. Okay, so let's take an example. So list 1 is 1 to 4 and the list 2 is 1 3 4, both are sorted, and the output is 1 1 2 3 4 4 in a sorted manner after merging both of the lists. Similarly, the other examples, example 2 and example 3. So here you are given a class of list node having value and next pointer, and similarly the constructors for that, and the function is a public list node merge to list, having two lists, list 1 and list 2, of the type of the class list node. So the approach is simple, we are going to use a temporary list node to store the result yeah, as a merged list that we are going to return, and similar we are going to traverse through both of the lists and compare if the which element is smaller in both of the lists, and we are going to point the next of the temporary variable to the smallest element of that comparison of the two lists. Okay, so let's start to implement this. Okay, so basically first we have initialized a temporary node of the type list node that we are going to use for the traversal, or to point the next element of after comparison of the both of the list, and we have initialized it with -1, and make another node. So basically we are going to use another node head that is going to point to the temporary variable, and after traversing in the loop we are going to return this head. Okay, basically temp will traverse through all of the comparisons, and as head points to the temporary node we are creating, and at the end we are going to return this head. So so we are going to return this at now. Let's make a loop that is going to process the main functionality of this program. So basically this loop will what will this loop do is it will check if both of the lists are not null, then we are going to make comparison of the both of the lists, and point the next of the temporary in the smallest number in the comparison of the both of the lists. So let's check. So if the value of the list 1 is smaller than the value of the list 2, then simply we are going to point the next of the temp as list 1. Okay, and we are going to move the list 1 forward. Okay, so what this will do is like the temp will point to the smallest element, list one, and will move the list one to the next element. Suppose like if we are comparing one and one, if in this both are equal or less, then this will store the value and it will move list one to the next. Okay, so similarly for list 2 we are going to handle this in the else condition. So temp dot next will point to, otherwise temp dot next will point to list 2, and the list 2 will move forward by one element. Okay, so here after completing this loop, the loop will terminate if one of the two lists has reached to an end. Okay, like if we have an uneven number of lists, like suppose here it is even, the list will complete in this while loop. But if there are uneven number of lists, like there are 5 elements in the first list and 3 elements in the first list, second list, then second list will reach to an end early, and we have to check the other elements of the link list. It is simple, like we just have to append the other elements of the list to the next of the temp variable. Okay, temp node we have created. So let's handle that situation. So if list 1 is not null after this while loop, then we are going to just temp dot next is equals to list 1. Okay, similarly, okay, similarly for the condition of the list 2, if list 2 is not null, like one of the two lists, if is it not null, then we are going to append the other half of the list to the temp node we have created. Temp dot next is equals to list 2. Okay, and after all of these conditions we are going to return the head. Okay, let's just go through the code. Like we have created a pretty node that is going to store the merge, that is used for the merging of the two lists. A while loop is used when both of the lists are not null. Then if list 1 is less than the list 2, then uh, it the temp will point to the list 1, and list 1 will move 1 point to the next. Otherwise temp will store the list 2 and list 2 will point to the next. And after this while loop, if any of the list is not null, then we are simply pointing the next of the temp to uh, the list 1 or list 2, depending on their null conditions. So let's just run this code. Okay, we have an error in list 1. List 1. Okay, we have double right one. Okay, list 1. Okay, I have done something mistake. Let me just check. Okay, okay. While this one is not null, and then temp.nest is equal to list 1, and is equals to list 2. Also the one mistake we have done, like uh, we have not moved the temporary variable to the next in each iteration. Okay, so we have to move the temporary variable to the next iteration, like because it was just overriding the value of the temporary variable, temporary node we have created, and we have to return the head, the next of the basic, because during initialization of the temp we have initialized it with -1, then then we have to point to the next, like the next variable from the starting from the -1. Okay, so let's just run this code and check. Okay, so it has accepted and passed the test cases. Let's just submit that code. Okay, so here you can see it has submitted successfully. So the time complexity of this will be something like order of n, like we have to process all of the nodes of the both of the lists in the worst case, and the space complexity will be order of 1, because we haven't used any extra or additional space for storing this list. So that's it for this question for merging two sorted lists. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, receive the notifications of upcoming videos. Like, I am going to create full sequence of these videos, and this will help you surely in your interview preparation. So till then, have a good day. See you in the next video.